Because at the end of the day, what we're here to talk about is when it rains. What happens when it rains? Can we predict that? Can we understand that? Can we control that?
We were using more than one program to link up our BMPs to our pipe systems. And this is a really inefficient way of solving drainage design. And it also introduces human error, especially when you're using an output of one program as an input in another. So obviously you can lose information there. So we were open to working with Autodesk in this new modeling software called Info Drainage to bring everything together in one single model, one single file, and eliminate the inefficiencies and the human error that we were encountering in our current workflow.
How many of us have to go off and go use spreadsheets to get a printed result of our analysis or our reporting that we're going to go send to our client? You or somebody you know is doing that, okay? We all agree on that. So that's one of the biggest things that we're going to share today. Super excited about it, and they call it flexible reporting. You're going to see several examples of that today, but just know that you can finally configure your look, your feel, your jurisdiction, however they want it to look. You can do that. And it becomes minutes now instead of spending hours trying to move it, manipulate all this stuff. You don't have to do that anymore. All right, so that's gonna be a big deal, and Mike's gonna go all into that. So be ready for that. It's gonna be a big deal.
And we're gonna highlight an overarching challenge that we find that that any of these transportation infrastructure is prone to, and that is during a rain event, any transportation infrastructure could be prone to flooding, and that is what we're gonna try to tackle here: is what drainage infrastructure you could incorporate into your projects to mitigate or reduce the risk of your infrastructure turning into a flood area.
But here's the thing that I run into a lot. Let's say we're working on this really large subdivision and we got 50 catchment areas. Well, infra drainage allows you to address that really quick.
And in the past, I've worked on projects with the objective of basically accommodating a historical storm. The owner was saying, if that storm hits me again, I don't want to flood. And that was the objective, and that's okay.
So that was a great slide, Tim. Anyway.
Is it worth it? In our opinion, we're going to give a yes on this. We're going to say, yes, this program is definitely worth using, especially on your more complicated sites. I mean, this is where info drainage really shines and really saves time. So one of the main points that we discussed is info drainage has that import export capability out of CAD. So, all of that work that you've already done in CAD, building your pipe networks and building your catchments, you can pull that information directly out of info drainage and into the model. And that saves an astronomical amount of time. I'm not going to even, that is the word I'm going to use, because that is something that in the past has taken up the majority of the time, is building the model, putting in your inputs, and just streamlining that component alone is a big selling point for us.